Welcome everyone to this new series I want to try. You ever fall down a rabbit hole on YouTube of watching CG short films from random festivals or competitions? Just endless and endless amounts of just really good indie cinematography? Sometimes they're thought-provoking, sometimes they really strike you in the feels, and sometimes they just look beautiful. And sometimes they're all of those things at once. Well, either way, here's a series for such a topic. It's the Shorts series. Doesn't have to be random YouTube videos, could be more like those picture shorts before a movie, the little spin-off productions from full-blown movies, or just any kind of short-form filmmaking content. But today I'm going to pull back things to a more simpler time, as we're going to be doing an analysis of the very video that sparked my first rabbit hole down into this artsy side of YouTube. You may have seen the thumbnail for it before, I mean, it is 18 million views. This is CGI animated short film HD Jinxie Jenkins and Lucky Lou by Mike Bidinger and Michelle Kwan CG Meetup. Look, it's from 2015. The way YouTube titles worked back then is completely different to now, right? It's all about the pivotal day that one Jinxie Jenkins collides with Lucky Lou. They live on the same street in San Francisco, but live very different lives. A literal divide on their way of life. Jenkins lives at a sad number 13, whilst Lou resorts in a colourful number 7. You can see where this goes. Just a colour and a number and you can already spot the theme of this short. All the while, a simple ukulele colours in the soundtrack. Jenkins lives the unlucky life, stepping out into rain and getting donked on his head so much he's forced to wear a helmet all day. And as for Lou, she gets sunshine for every step. Happy for some, but boring for her, and she grumbles her way away. Whilst Jenkins' new umbrella precaution is caused some more precarity with the wind now picking up, crushing away the split screen so that it's all now him. Nice, even if he is trying to resist it. And now it's time for some examples of luck. Lucky Lou wants to leap into a little liquid, but a newspaper magically flies into place. Disappointing. Whilst Jenkins is losing his fight to the umbrella, even hitting his head on the pavement. Ouch. Lucky Lou has slot machines in her favour and Jenkins has mirrors smashing on his path. Just about in sync with his head position. Flowers bloom and birds demand the Snow White treatment. I love the little glances to the camera from both of them. And going under ladders leads to another beating, all building up to that fateful interaction. The birds are cartoonishly circling and hair goes through the helmet. One just coming out of the shade and the other backlit by the sun already. Lighting matters. For Lou, it's a breath of fresh air, though Jenkins is understandably hesitant, leaving and wilting those newly bloomed flowers. Also, have you noticed that up to this point, the short has been entirely shot at this one angle? Like it's a 2D animation, but now that their worlds have collided, that's all changing. You got these diagonally dynamic on-looking shots where the composition shows the illusion of looking at each other, though they're technically not. And we're even getting POV shots now. For Lou, she's got grazes on her hand, and she looks at them as if it's the first time she's ever gotten them before, because you can imagine in her reality, she never has. Imagine that, hearing about such injuries but never experiencing it before. But in true bad luck fashion, Jenkins trips on the magical newspaper from before, nice, and kickstarts a trajectory downhill in an unstoppable ice cream cart. By the way, I'll be doing more shorts in the future hopefully, so let me know what suggestions you have for this new topic prompt. You can also of course subscribe if you want to see more like this, or if you have already, come visit us on Twitch as we're streaming right after this video comes out. Hope you're a fan of Iron Man or Ben 10 as we're playing their games today. Oh god. The traffic below speeding along comedically fast and hazardously, a nightmare for Jenkins but exciting for Lou. I love how well you could read the two's trains of thought when they're in the back of the cart. And with her luck at the front of the cart now, a bonnet becomes a ramp. And the two clear into a tunnel, the first bout of good luck Jenkins has ever had in his life. Not that he could enjoy it for long, as there's now oncoming traffic, and a kind of dolly zoom effect to roll us into the action. Good stuff. Lou's a little extra for accelerating into oncoming traffic, but hey, it works out for the most part. And the camera's getting more adventurous now, tilting and tracking in shot, only to lead into... because of course there's a street full of pianos. I love the expression of Jenkins' eyes. It knocks them out of the cart, but you can run along falling pianos just fine. It's gonna be fine. for the first time, Jenkins feels like he's gonna be fine. Look at that little smile. Plus, the music's gotten a lot more electric and slowing down to hit those emotive beats. Literally. And they land back in. The road getting more hoppy, and with a new sense of security, Jenkins too can enjoy the ride a little and raise his arms. What's next? Flinging them off a cliff and into the deep sea. Something Jenkins hopes Lucky Lou's luck can help them out with. But she no longer thinks she can. It's time for him to take the initiative, and the camera helps direct our attention. Grabbing the umbrella, setting it up, but it flails in the wind. He needs a little bit of that Lucky Lou luck. They both have to trust each other on this. And so they land gently atop the Golden Gate Bridge with that goofy, cartoony animation style of curvy motions, as has been scattered throughout this short actually. What with Jenkins' lanky umbrella fight, the reveal of legs in the ice cream cart, and now this. It's just really satisfying. Lou stunned and Jenkins safe enough to take off his helmet. The hair disagrees. They catch a final double ice cream from said cart, but of course, it splits exactly how you'd expect. Something to laugh about, and as the two sit together up high, the music ends, and we cut to black. As one commenter aptly put it, he's the adventure she always wanted, and she's the warmth he always needed. And by the end of this short story, they come to love themselves for who they are because of each other. Truly, the best case scenario. Man, this simple short struck something with me 7 odd years ago, and even in the credits you can see how they make the best of both with a little rain redirection on the umbrella. Oh. Is this short film perfect? No, there's all sorts of the minorest of errors, singular frames of mistimings and glitches, creative limitations like the rain not affecting anything, or small continuity errors. The birds aren't spinning correctly and the reflections are hit or miss, but understandably, this short was showered in awards. I mean, look at all these awards I didn't know existed. And this was all done with a team of students from the Ringling College of Art and Design. Most noted up front, one Mike Bidinger and Michelle Kwan, admitted into the title. And I was curious to know, where are they now? Surely with such a collection of accolades under their belt, they must have had a bright future ahead of them. And it's been several years now. Well, I have just the answer for you. Mike Bidinger, I hope it's not Bidinger, who worked as the animation and technical director for this, has since gone on to work at Pixar Animation Studios. You can even see on their website the very showreel they used to pitch themselves as an intern. And with a few years under the belt now, they've gotten to work as an animator for crowds in The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, and Cars 3, as well as non-crowd animation for Coco, Incredibles 2, Onward, and Soul, and most recently being accoladed as Titles Animation Director for Pixar Popcorn. I didn't know that was a role, but it makes a lot of sense. You gotta love a success story. And speaking of that, on the other side of things, we have Michelle Kwan, taking up the role of art and story director for this short. Now, she took the more freelance approach, it seems, but has quite the industry history working with the likes of Cartoon Network, Universal Studios Creative, Target, and Cheesecake Factory, among others, and more specifically becoming a background painter for Carmen Sandiego and Steven Universe. Nice. She's got all sorts of comics and illustrations on her website for you to see too. And nowadays describes himself as a freelance artist, filmmaker, illustrator with an affiliation of hats. Is it weird to have looked up how these two are doing? I just think it's fascinating to see where people go. And as for the channel itself, this is very much an animation hub that's still going on now. I mean, now that I've watched this video a few too many times this week, I'm now being bombarded with recommendations from this channel, though their video titles are still just as naff. CG Meetup also serves as a networking resource for CGI professionals to exchange ideas, knowledge, and job opportunities, apparently. Went over my head several years ago and goes over my head now, but there you are. Either way, that was the striking story that really made an impact on me, and apparently a happy ending in fiction seems to have occurred in reality too, as the two creators seem to be doing well for themselves. Maybe for a future shorts video, I'll actually find the confidence to reach out to a creator and interview them maybe. Either way, this has been my small gushings of a short I watched years ago. But let me know, are there any other short films you would love for me to cover? Maybe I'll suss out a random episode of Love, Death, and Robots or something. Whatever the case, for now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.